Looks like it's going to be Team Liquid at 100 Thieves. And then tomorrow, the games I'm really excited about. Well, one game specifically that I'm really excited about with FlyQuest and NRG. We're going to hop right into Immortals and NRG and see how it went.
The Immortals composition a little bit, but that's mainly because I just love
immediately I'm liking the
comps
comps
that make sense.
I'm
Being
just
able to
excited
full
to
clear in
see
under
Kalista
3 minutes,
and
then also having Ole
This
on
is
Leona, which
banned
I
out
think is the
all
strongest
the time.
support on the patch right now,
And then
due
I'll
to
just
the
like seeing some
tenacity
Ezreal.
rune changes and also Warmogs being such a great item for her. It just
hop
makes
right
a lot of
back in.
sense as long as they can get through that.
0-6.
It is actually 0-6, which you don't see many teams start 0-6 and then still have championship aspirations, which is where NRG is going to be right now. And then one small thing that is a little bit unlucky for NRG actually is the way side
Double cleanse
select
bot
works
lane,
in
but that makes a lot of
best of
sense up
3
against
LCS
on the one
is
side Leona,
the top 4
Zyra,
teams from
and
Spring get
Renekton,
it
and then the
in
other side
4 of their
Sejuani,
series,
Jackson,
and the
Ashe.
bottom 4 get it in
There
3
is
of their series. NRG was
so
a bottom
much
4
CC.
team. But the way the randomization worked after that, this is the 3rd match in a row that NRG's actually not had side select. So it's a slightly unlucky against them at the very start of the season, and it's even more important that they don't have that negative momentum of starting 0-3 or 0-6.
Yeah, and obviously, I know
Perfect
you keep bringing
game
this
by
up, Chad, but we
EG
see that
in
NRG
2023.
slow summer
I didn't actually know a
starts
perfect game had
as
ever happened.
They did get perfect game by EG. Obviously, this was in single game best of ones, not best of threes, which you kind of underlined the importance.
Even then,
of,
just a best of game in
being
general
able
sounds
to
really
win this
rough.
Match against IMT.
Not being able to
And
get
then early
anything
on,
all
we did
game,
see
that's
NRG kind of
demoralizing.
full invade. They were spotted out by an Immortals ward, but placed
I'm really excited
that
to watch
early
this bot
vision
lane.
down on the bot side.
Tactical had some
So
really
they
good games
should
last
know,
week, and
when
I'm
our
going to be
man
hyped to see him on some
down here,
Ezreal
in
again.
addition to scouting out for a potential swap that did not happen.
I mean, they have 3 wards down in the jungle, so he is going to be absolutely spotted out anywhere he wants to go. We'll have to see exactly what contract he's going to do.
Zyra's
There's a
super
ward on his
clears
Raptors
compared
as well,
to
so they're going to
Sejuani.
get the info, of course, that contract
You think they're
is
coming-
clearing from
looks like
top
they're coming
down
bot?
towards bot. And both teams are going to be fully aware of the information.
I do wonder what NRG is using all of that early vision for, because they didn't disrupt Armeo's very early clear. It does seem like
They just
he didn't
didn't wanna get
necessarily clear
everything
3 camp
just
super fast. We'll see
busted
what
into
he
them under
actually
tower.
does the 6 camp
Big
on.
wave
I've
and everything,
seen it
right?
as low as like 258. But at the moment, the first wave crashed into Ole.
Wow,
and
they're clearing the red buff so quick.
Generally okay, and there's no dive being set up.
That's
so
actually
it looks
disgusting.
Like a relatively okay early game for the Immortals bot lane.
Yeah, it's just going to be about how much of this.
I'm
farm
so
can they
surprised we don't
actually
see more
pick up.
Zyra jungle.
It is
That's
19
actually
CS
just
to 8.
disgusting.
There is obviously a couple more there for him to farm, but you know,
So there's no
NRG
big wave
knows
bot
that
lane.
Zyra's now on the bottom side, so they are going to just crash the wave.
I feel like
allow it to collect and
the
come back
LPL does that
towards
all
them.
the time.
This
They
is
always
the
have
window
this
where they have to
super
play a
big
little bit
wave and
safe,
dive you level
because this
2
is
or
where
whatever, and it
Zyra's
always
gonna
looks
be ahead
disgusting.
Of that pace of the Sejuani. They should be aware that the Zyra could be down here.
Yeah, they're just
Oh,
going
wow,
for
the
it.
flash engaged by the Leona.
Well, Huhi and the water shuffle is going to have to flash out. The Stranglethorn's not going to actually.
Oh, they got out though.
As Grasping Vines, excuse me, the root doesn't actually connect.
Armea flashed
there.
in. I really
FBI
thought they were going to get something
will
there,
hold on
but
to his
Huhi
numbers,
really
but
was
it is
able to
both
dodge
of
what he
them
needed
spent
to.
by Huhi. They target the support because he's the one without the cleanse.
Oh, watch out! Contracts now maybe getting a
Oh,
little
that's
bit
true.
of
I
river
guess
control. Really,
Huhi
really
actually
have to
didn't lose
scrap over
anything
this wave
there.
to see who gets it.
Yeah,
Oh,
we'll
I'm sorry.
see.
No,
Contracts
FBI
is,
didn't lose
wants to
anything there.
hold
Huhi
on
lost
and try to keep
everything
his
there.
bot lane safe in this 2v2.
Oh, that's
He's
really
gonna
rough.
Sit around here, not going to be able to actually challenge very likely for this.
Actually,
scuttle
funnily
now
enough,
as Huhi moves up.
Olay lost
He's
everything
gonna
too.
try to push
I mean,
in.
he has the
Armea,
Hex
though, could just
Flash.
cross and potentially go for a double scuttle. It is going to have to be a base here.
But
for
while they did
Contracts,
trade health and everything
a
like
slight
that,
advantage for
summer-wise,
Warlords
it
at the end of
was
the day.
a pretty even
and
trade.
I am kind of a little bit surprised because I guess Contracts was not in a position where
FBI.
he was going to be able
Wow,
to
that was
farm
deep.
them without skipping.
Armea was there a little bit earlier. That could have been
Didn't track that ward.
awful. He must have had some kind of timing understanding.
Yeah, I feel like this early set of decisions by
really
Armeo, the
seeing
first
any
gank
words.
is good.
Oh, I
but
guess
everything
they
after
did
that,
see
I
the,
think they're
the
missing
boom
that
strike.
like slight bit of extra you get with Zyra. Like when you have the chance to double scuttle there, you just go for it and slingshot
Mask
your
was able
way
to
ahead of the Sejuani, because
see him
as it
out.
is now, it's actually just going to be 7 camps to 7 camps, and he does have his first item now that's going to help him clear faster after that, but he could be a lot farther ahead
Actually,
of Sejuani
discuss
at this point.
top lane. We'll probably be
Because, but I
discussing with
also
Jax,
do
right?
Like that at the very
Renekton's
least,
pretty
he was
tanky.
able to get a pretty good back for Tactical and Olays. You see them roaming up topside, presumably for a corrupt take. So I mean, in
not
this
Olay?
lane where they were getting hard shoved in,
I wouldn't say it
like
wrong.
you said, it could have been a little bit more efficient, but
they have all the vision up there, dude. Wow, there's so many people.
Now they're gonna be
Poor
able to set up for
Castle.
grubs, and they're setting up for a dive on top side.
Yeah, they're actually just going to go for the 4-man dive here. Olay going to look to start it out. When's the counter-strike going to come through? The stun arrives. The root is there.
Look at Dokka possibly do. Wait, Dokka, you're insane!
1v4. Big Doke stands tall.
Oh, that was huge. I can't believe they were able to get anything from it.
He had no flash. Starting out that dive without flash was very risky, and Dokka was able to get the punish.
I think you got to lead with the Renekton there instead of the Leona. I think the ordering by Immortals was just a little bit impatient. I understand Ole.
Super well played by Dokka.
So many times.
I only really saw him on Kasante, I feel like, last week, so it's really good to see him on Jackson doing well.
When you bring 4 to a level 5 top laner,
really good practice by Castle.
So Dokka surviving this is a great outplay.
Yeah, and I mean, this is...
And Olay didn't have flash because they used it on that last... just so much damage on... Wow.
He still dies.
I'm really surprised Jax did that much damage as a whole.
That's actually so crucial. We see Pinkard reacting.
I mean, that's one of those reactions where he knows it's bad that was even a possibility, but he's happy that he got the return kill because it still doesn't help him a huge amount. He did lose the wave. His opponent top laner did get the kill, and now we're actually in a full swap situation.
Yeah, I was going to say, now we see those lane assignments coming through out of IMT.
That is a really interesting lane swap.
Grub set up yet, but they
for the grubs.
This bot lane duo.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
From that pushing Ashe stuff.
Yeah, they do, but at the same time, you know, they were.
You don't always see that where the bot lane will rotate up. You do sometimes see the support rotate.
Over to your opponent. Yeah, you got a kill. Yeah, Dokka doesn't get.
They don't even need to help.
Wow,
Zyra just clears camp, bro.
Right, that is. Across the map, still a very good play for NRG as we're seeing Immortals pushing on top side. They're taking the grubs with the Zyra.
They're gonna get some planes for Ezreal because they kind of poke out Jax, and it'd be really dangerous for them to go in with
a lot happening
there.
right now. Both neutral objectives.
Although Contracts is trading it back for Drake.
Off of a solo
the way that I always think about it is Grubs is gonna be a little bit stronger early on. So if I was on an aggressive comp, I'd always want Grubs. But if I was going for like super scaling or something like that, I actually prefer the Drakes because you get the stats for later, but then you also have that threat of being able to stack them up.
Yeah,
they do have the wave in a really good state right now.
We'll see if they can start it off properly. They are aggro, and Castle's just stuck behind the pillar.
Castle's just so tanky. Wait, Castle, that's okay. These top laners are just crazy.
And that wasn't even that close, honestly, to being able to.
I feel like they're lucky Hui didn't die.
Ult missed. I feel like they just had to take it and back off.
Yeah, neither of these dives have worked.
Wow, that's so rough.
The way that the teams initiating them would have.
This is a top laner's dream. Interesting that Hui's the one that engaged there. And so deep, too.
Yeah, you know when you stick your toe in the water to see if it's too hot? Normally, if it's too hot, you don't then jump in. But that's what Contracts did.
And he got the cannon, too. I know it didn't show you on that replay, but based on how he set it up, I'd be shocked if he didn't get that cannon with his Q.
That one was a little bit tough, right? They don't have great CC to set it up. They could have potentially led.
That is actually just so heartbreaking.
But then maybe, Zero getting burst down. I feel like they should have just walked up with this Edgewani point blank and then thrown the ult out of it and tried to actually start it that way. They were trying to have your support hold aggro on the very edge so we can step out at that last moment, but it's more important.
Or maybe it has the upgraded smite. I wonder how long until Contracts get it, because Zyra does clear wave a lot faster than Sejuani, but I'm kind of curious exactly how much faster. So Contracts has just turned.
Hasn't really been too much action there.
Yeah, and that's
she's up almost.
Both of them would want, right? Like especially with this.
Yeah, almost 20 farm. I think she's gonna get 20 feet. Oh, that's disgusting.
And then also
he didn't even finish clearing the red buff.
You can get Dokka to a point where he will be able to mow down side lanes.
So she already has faded ashes. I'm kind of curious how much more Armeo can get.
Yeah, we have not seen any action mid, which is actually kind of surprising given how many other teams have kind of really tried
on the next back. They'll probably get.
Yeah. There's the attempt, I think, from Hui. That's the
Black Torch, right?
Ashe equivalent of a mid lane roam. Just fire the arrow, see what happens. Be like, all right.
It's all for the game still hits. Those are the roughest when you get hit mid lane from an Ashe arrow from base and you're just sitting there stunned for like 6 seconds. Give enough time to go get food and everything. Just
players, and also just because the Ashe Callista creates so much priority around double hail of blades, all inning early. And then you also have Ole, who's not on the Ashe Leona, and he just wants to fight every time his flash is up. Speaking of which, his flash is up and he's running bot lane.
Oh yeah, Flash is back up.
Find out that he was actually spotted there. Armeo is around in the area, so could be a
Did
bit
he
of
get
a
spotted
skirmish
there?
here, but it is difficult.
I'm guessing so. It kind of looked like he might have sniffed it out.
They don't have that Ash arrow available for a little while. They do have this edge 20.
Okay, definitely know they're there now.
Yeah, and on top side, we also see the
support battle begins.
Now dirty farm.
He placed another ward there immediately.
Here, in terms of getting that prio, obviously Dokla will be able to catch this wave. But
oh, interesting. Dokla's bringing it into the base.
What IMT does is we see Armeo,
into the turret.
Top side, them having set up vision, or bot side, set up
oh,
vision
and a
around
plate.
bot side, see if they want to make some plays.
Yeah.
I still think, I'm trying to think of the scaling.
Mask is up a little bit in gold. Actually, everyone besides the bot lane's up a little bit of gold on Immortal side.
Yeah. But you don't want this Aurelion Soul to get to a point.
Oh, Renekton is looking strong with Castle too now.
The A-Soul scaling is good, but I just
look at Contract stealing a Zyra camp.
Leona
ballsy.
as a team fight starter compared to the support
wait,
Ashe.
Wait, no, that's his side of the jungle.
Is going to outscale for them, and then Corki's Zyra Renekton is just fine.
Yeah.
As Contract.
No, wait, I was right. Contract was stealing it. I saw Castle walking up, and I was like, wait, are they blue?
We're going to see the Ash arrow actually connect, but nice little buffer there from Mask as he's going to be able to Valkyrie out.
Okay, no. I was right the first time. For some reason, I was wrong on the second time.
There's a lot of poke if we're talking about like a level 16 Corki and.
Oh, looks like they're going to 6 grubs here with Zyra walking up and Castle.
Everything poking away.
Yeah. Contract just has to leave.
6 grubs here. They're first to the spot, but NRG are potentially.
And Drag's not even up yet. They still have about a minute for Drag. So they could arguably try and fight for that if they wanted to.
So yes, you're going to get 6 grubs, which can help you get plates, but you're giving away a lot of plates just to get it.
Yeah, and again, you want this Jax
to
become a monster.
They're about to get the first turret already.
Looks like PP and Contract, yeah, might be looking for something else.
Yeah, FBI looking to try to start it out. We'll see if they're going to.
Wait, Dokla ulted to clear that wave.
Still holding on to it.
I thought I just missaw. Oh, great flash by Mask.
Nicely played by both sides there. As Olay just splits the uprates with the ult.
Or uses
not able to stun up anyone.
In a fight or some of that. I saw a weird animation, but I was like, oh, maybe it's just the E animation. I just haven't played Jackson so long. It looks like he ulted to clear that wave.
Before throwing out the ult. And still does get the flash at the end of the day, but the overall outcome of that play.
Yep, Armeo was able to on the next back get the. Okay, they didn't actually grab Blackfire Torres. They didn't grab Leandri's. I
don't love it in the short
term. I don't remember if the.
But Immortals, who had already taken 4
I'm guessing the
plates,
Mask doesn't build into.
To get more plates, and then obviously has the grubs for the rest of the game. Really need to see if they can create side.
I know Faded Ash just builds into both of them.
Otherwise, that Jax is going to be a problem.
Yeah, and for me, I am curious to see who gets this next setup on this bot side for Drake.
Oh, Dokla engage!
Just jumped in, and that's kind of the anti-timing as Olay is now.
Yeah, that is the worst timing.
Jump back doesn't look like it, but is going to be able to get.
Oh, okay.
Should be okay.
Yeah, never used his counter strike, so was never in huge danger there, knowing that the Leona ult was down and.
Okay.
Oh, Castle's taking a lot of damage here, and there is the empowered ulti, and he's going
to Palafox.
No flash available. Pops the ulti, going to try to fight this one out, but it is the Rylai's.
Oh, that's just soloed.
Slowing him up. Palafox
oh wait, that was so weird to watch. It looked like Castle was just standing there for a while.
Yeah, and as Palafox grabs,
just underestimated the damage. It looks like.
FBI who keep pushing in mid,
and then Mask does clear that turret top side.
Drake to stack that up for NRG. IMT will be able to get a return.
That's a Drake stacking.
But this is a pretty good position for NRG to be, especially with the.
All right, so tactical completed, Infinity Edge, and FBI's had opportunity for a little bit now.
Castle in that top lane. It's like even though they weren't directly against each other, 3 people went up for Dokla, nothing happened, and then Castle dies 1v1. So off of that lost tempo,
yeah, Castle. It's so weird because Castle's 2-0,
uncontested.
Like definitely down in form from Palafox.
But
it wasn't like he
looking like they want to set up for a Herald now.
You know what I mean?
Which obviously
he was that much weaker
a little bit. If you do drive it in, you're going to be able to get 12 of those little mini Void Mites to spawn up. Dokla playing pretty carefully around this top side though, realizes hey, Herald
super
is
heads up from Dokla.
It is just going to back off because he has
no vision on that. He had no idea that they were coming. Just kind of guessed based off of the situation.
You can see that Contract is down in that bot enemy jungle. They see no one there. So Dokla just kind of intuits that, yeah, they got to be top.
Yeah, and they should be able
All right, Castle. I believe in you. I think last time you just made a little mistake. I think you're gonna do great here.
Potentially set something up here.
Oh wow, watching Acel clear waves just looks so abusive.
I think they want to use this Rift Herald mid and try and break it open a little bit because they've lost control of their bot side of the map. I think a retake is actually pretty risky.
Ooh,
but if they just hold mid here with Ezreal, Leona, and now the Corki's moving,
it looks like they don't have any vision, so they know that they're not bot lane anymore. But
make something happen.
I don't know if they know that Palafox is there. This could be a huge engage with the Acel ult back up.
They're actually right here.
Yep, contracts right in. All right, yes, and Acel ult. Oh, that was a save. Really quick TPs, but it doesn't even matter almost.
He's gonna have to run immediately. He's gonna actually jump into the Herald.
Oh wow, actually wow. Rift Herald kind of looked crazy there. Double knockup, triple knockup actually.
Top lane, man.
But is it even gonna get a charge? I mean, it looks
not at all.
Cool. It looks stylish.
I mean, he got out. Castle survived. Got some knockups on him. Was able to disengage safely. And there's also that hope that you'll be able to go get the
Herald being dropped down mid.
You know, the charge off from Shelly or something.
Who wasn't able to actually flash the play.
It is unfortunate that they weren't able to do anything with the Rift Herald that they got. Yeah, he just gets grabbed and caught and he's killed. Oh, there's so much damage there. I don't think Armeo did anything wrong at all.
The teleport from Castle is just far too little too late, and that entire setup is blown up by
Olay was super low in health too, so it's not even like they could have gone in after the knockups and tried to do something. Acel had so much damage. Oh, that was rough to watch.
Zyra can have in these team fights with her ultimate.
I mean, and he had flash. He knows it. That's the kind of look of disappointment on his face. He didn't react to it. If he flashes out and then turns around with his own ulti, it's a very different play. So it's one of those things where
look at him just clear waves. This looks
and I see Armeo just
this looks disgusting.
Barely missing out on a few things, going all the way back to his early.
Like it looks disgusting in the games that I play too, but like watching a person like how Acel is supposed to be played, it looks.
They would have had a higher chance to kill, or maybe
no counterplay.
Like I saw.
That's
game where he
rough.
pushed the enemy tank jungler off the blue buff, right?
But then I know for a fact I couldn't even get Acel to the point where he's clearing waves like that.
Before flashing away. And
like you have to really be up in gold and everything and maintain your stats.
Gold difference in 2 Drakes, but they're losing on some pretty slim margins here.
I do think that is when we talk about how these AP junglers have come into the meta and whether LCS junglers are super comfortable with them, right? These are the kind of small windows when we look at someone like River playmaking on something like the Zyra after a super fast clear.
So I don't. Does Castle just absolutely bully Dokla? Or the other way around? Yeah, he's positioning kind of quick. Or maybe it's just the idea of like neither one technically wins the all-in. You know, like if the other one plays it better, then
still very comfortable with this champion.
Can win.
Yeah, and Liquor said something to us last week where League is a lot more about where you are than like what you actually doing on your champion, and obviously both are a bit important, but I think that's even more important with junglers. But that's
he's just clearing that wave
because you just get more time to be in the right spot. And
look at him! Look at Palafox go!
Hasn't necessarily taken full advantage of it this game.
I mean, this S20 has really been keeping up in farm.
Oh, he's disgusting.
Close, right? And it's probably going to be Warmog's second for contracts, especially
against I can't actually believe Mask is up in farm from that.
Very valuable.
How is that possible? Mask, you're a monster.
Stepping forward, who's eating the initial damage, healing back up before objectives, and just trying to go into these fights at full health. Olay threatening a little bit on the side here. They may try to look for
actually, Mask has so much farm in comparison to everyone.
Does spot them out as both teams.
Only one who hit 200, like highest at 200, and he's the only one who's within 10.
Don't want to give it up, and we'll see if NRG can kind of bully their way in.
All right, Palafox is within 10 now.
Let's see here because Dokla is free pushing that top lane, so NRG actually wants to take their time.
So Immortals really wants to get this Drake to stop their soul point.
Make Immortals work for it, so they want
they have some poke to do it.
Dokla as much time as possible. They're a little too fearful of not having eyes on the Leona. They don't want to lose the fight, so I think they just end up giving this up.
Oh, good looks from Dokla pushing top though. They're gonna be able to get into the plate.
Trade-off, right? Where Dokla should be able to move
turret
down pretty quickly, and what you're looking at
because now they have bot side and top side turret.
Going to be able to deal with
once they get mid, they just have so much free reign in the enemy jungle.
Getting him ahead. You know, we talked about it earlier with the
Immortals really has to protect this mid side turret.
For Dokla. It's another
Ooh, tactical.
Sidestep comes through from Tactical.
You're so heads up.
Be looking for Mass. We'll see if they can.
Oh, what a great ult by the Acel!
He does flash out.
Wait, that's so much damage though.
He gets over the wall. Is
Palafox dead? Palafox is dead. Armeo played like, oh, that was so well. I can't believe Matt survived that. I really thought that after Palafox hit the ult, that Mask was just done for.
But Immortals find the kill.
That was so well played.
Engaged by them, but not able to actually finish off Mask before he got out.
Yeah, moment of trying to get a bit aggressive there. Palafox was very strong with a bounty,
disgusting.
but just gets caught by the Zyra as he's trying to overchase, and I love the aggression.
Actually, I thought he was going to get out.
Of standing and
it was close.
Back here.
Yeah, and here
look at how much damage Palafox is doing. He also missed his flash. Kind of heartbreaking. If he hit that flash, he would have probably survived as well.
Split thus far. Like
oh, look at that.
A rough year.
I was right there with you. I really thought he got it. I thought Palafox did the damn thing.
Comes down to these kind of individual, like, slight misplays.
And it's kind of a Merchant's diff, honestly, for Mask. You know,
Merchant's
the early
diff, yes,
did
sir.
allow him to get out of there, to survive through those suns, get over the wall.
Oh, I think Merchant's is totally the right buy here, though.
He pointed out in the replay chat that he's actually not
especially for Mask of all people, dealing with an ace all game.
Calculated out very, very well. Allowed them to turn around, get
Contract
that
is
kill.
so tanky. Already back to full health.
What Immortals can look for.
I mean, very close to it.
They are starting to get pretty strong. Obviously, Triforce is done for Tactical and Mask. Their Muramana going to be stacked up and ready here for Tactical soon as well. And that's a big 2-item spike for both the mid and the AD for Immortals when it's done.
And I also think it's important that NRG is getting
actually a lot of Trinity forces down there.
They can necessarily burst the Baron super fast
on the ADC, but also on the fighter jacks.
So if ever Immortals does have a window to take Baron,
pretty good item.
They can do it in under 15 seconds. But because they're a little bit behind in their solo lanes, right now Immortals is stuck.
You know, it's also funny about how careful NRG kind of has to be around Baron just because of. Oh wait, are they gonna get this turret?
Asol E there. That's a little bit of a zoning tool, and now Armeo gets caught, but
no, all right.
Follow up on that. Contract's a little bit ambitious with the Glacial Prism.
Because, you know, if you're trying to look at a Baron play or something like that, getting that mid turret actually gives you so much additional pressure. What I was going to say is how quickly Armeo with Zyra burns down Baron. You know what I mean? So NRG has to really just be aware that it's on the map.
But they're going to just continue holding this mid prio. They still have the big Asol ultimate, so they're hoping they can just catch someone with normal Sejuani engage, I think.
Yeah, we'll see if they can actually do it. Contract's poking away, and in comes the falling sky.
The ult by Palafox just didn't get it done.
Masco potentially in trouble.
Oh, great job. Oh, dude. Palafox is just so... Palafox is just like a turret in of itself. He was just standing there using his Q and hitting everyone. It was just melting people.
Unfortunate for NRG. They were really trying to
that was unfortunate. I think it was really well played by Mask and Tactical, and I mean, Ole, everyone. It was just well played.
Going to be that clean, and it's not like
a little bit too far forward.
Have a super slippery team. Like Corki Ezreal, really hard damage backline to get a hold of. Zyra, really hard to dive through. So when they go for this play, it has to be clean. It's not clean onto Mask, and they can't.
Worst part was I don't even think Contracts necessarily did anything wrong there. You know, you're probably going in with the thought like Palafox has hit like all of his ults so far. He's gonna hit this ult as well. So you're like, maybe you should have backed the moment the ult missed. But I feel like that's difficult to do. You know, like going all in and then, you know, dropping ults and everything, and you see it miss and just immediately be like, disengage.
Stacking up some of these seeds.
You know, you're in the moment already.
But I'm just a little bit confused as to why NRG even feels that they need to force these plays. You have an Asol that's scaling. You're winning in the side lane with Jax.
Yeah, look at all those little pants.
You know, force your opponents to try to make something happen. And now they're going to be starting it up. The Baron is in trouble.
Oh, okay, tactical cleanse.
But the real target is the Baron. It has been spotted. Contracts is in the area, so it could be a bit.
All those plants died though. Yeah, they can't do it now.
To flank on the side. Immortals are going to have to back it up. We'll see if
that was a huge mistake by Immortals. They just took so much damage for no reason. Oh wow, great jump in by Dokla. That was insane. Oh, the Chemtech back going crazy.
Yes, the support does fall. Immortals though will be able to retreat.
Oh, I feel like that's really hard to plan for.
And the enemy support.
A Jax with Counter-Strike just jumping into your team.
In this game, as in life, patience is rewarded because the people that are forcing, I'd say more often than not in this match,
they're gonna get the Dragon Soul from that. That was a huge play right there.
Trying to dive into a Zyra, trying to dive into an Asol.
I think Immortals was just a little bit too aggressive.
Immortals was just way too hyped on the fast kill Baron. Like, that thing wasn't even close. It was super telegraphed. It was over.
I think they could have. They might have been able to, if they were like really went all in for it. They might have been able to complete the Baron. But I think they would have got aced afterwards.
Was patient and disrupted it it was a very easy fight win and Drake take.
So Dokla gets out.
Yeah, and I think the big thing for me here is also just the
So Van's still on the map.
Right?
If Armeo really, like again, Armeo melts it if they were able to get the plants and stuff on it.
They do want to make the most of
but you really have to, it takes a lot of setup and a lot of time. So there really needs to be something else that people are fighting for if you're going to do that.
But then it's
or at least a different focus for them.
The whole team. And
you know what I mean? Like you're sieging bot lane as well.
We've seen both teams in this game kind of struggle.
Yep, and we'll see who's going to be able to.
They're posturing really well.
Hold of this game. NRG now at soul point, so they're going to be looking to try to grab that next one.
Or maybe like a TP difference would.
Really,
TP difference also kind of work.
400 gold lead here.
Like we knew Palfox was bot side and didn't have TP.
Has really been that clean on
I mean, maybe you could then argue like, hey, I think we can win the fight anyway, especially if you're able to get a decent engage. I don't know. It's definitely either team's game.
And this is where one mistake starts to cost you so much more.
It really does.
I think NRG is in a favored position here, but that's just from the fact of they have that win con of.
It would be the two people with
maybe it's not a win con considering it's 10 tech Drake, but they can just grab the soul.
With moving into space because they
and Immortal will have to get 3 in a row to prevent that and get the soul themselves.
Oh, look where Palfox is on the minimap. Palfox is actually going for the Ezreal. He's going to look for Tactical.
Jeez.
Tactical's forced to flash out the falling sky.
Wait, he got caught. He didn't have E.
Gets him.
Oh, I have to see that again. That was so beautiful play by Palfox.
Snipes him down from contracts. Big play from Palafox.
Oh, that was I don't know what happened.
Catches Ezreal on my bingo card for this game, but I need to see how Palafox pulled that off.
That's what I'm saying.
He still catches the Ezreal post.
Because he had a second after he got hit by the
trying to back it up. In comes Mask. All of them are grouped
by some of the CC to be able to E out. Oh, there's just something you can do as Immortals. You're just down a man. Yeah. Better engaged by NRG. Insane.
And NRG are mopping him up.
Oh, I mean, O's got a trade on one person from Mask.
They are potentially looking for a reset. We'll see if they.
All the Warbugs on contracts.
Go for it. They're pretty low.
And who? Oh wait, not Huhi. He was just at higher health than I realized. Beautiful by contracts. Is that a double TP? No, just Palfox.
And it did start with Palafox.
Dunkle's gonna hold on to it. I mean, it makes sense to melting it. Nobody's even alive to go really compete with them.
Here makes a huge pick onto Tactical that starts it all before the big
fight.
Low. Not sure which replay we're gonna get, but I want to see it again.
I hope we see where Palfox caught out
again,
Tactical. How did that happen?
Dangerous as we
okay,
see
here, perfect.
Replay of this fight. Palafox walking up, and yeah, Tactical is just there on a war.
Okay, so the E to get away. Oh, Rylai's. Rylai's is so strong.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great angle from Palafox approach. You called it out there, Zale, on the minimap. That's the type of pick you hate to see.
It's hard to be upset there.
And that led to this.
And it was so important because
really good by contracts. He just knew he could engage. It doesn't matter that there were more people there. He knew that people were collapsing on him, and he found the positioning. That was really well played.
It was just clean, and it's the fact that it's a 5v4. Immortals needs to be conceding more of this ground here.
Yeah.
Not getting caught where the turret's not even.
Castle's definitely too deep. I don't know why he was jumping all the way back in there.
Decisive plays now with Baron pushing mid.
He got the cleanse, you know what I mean, off of FBI, but you have to assume you weren't killing either of them.
They're just kind of going for these 100-0 plays, but you have Ezreal, you have Corki, you have Zyra plants to poke and prod and try to rot them down before you commit to that engage, but they're struggling to do it. Feels like they're getting a little bit antsy and then just over-committing into these fights.
Reliant Soul's looking so gross.
Dokka's also so much stronger than everybody else in this game because he's gotten 2 solo turret golds early. He's level 16. So it's pretty easy to leave him down bot lane.
I feel like it's so hard to be Immortals here.
More people towards him.
Right, like you have to deal with just so much potential CC from the enemy.
Yeah, and now they should be able to rotate in and get this bot tier 1.
Look at that! Look at that! That's disgusting! That's disgusting!
Doesn't look like it. Castle bodyguarding. Contract stunned in the
oh, these ults from Palafox have been on point. He missed one.
Keep him safe there
or maybe he's missed more, but I've seen him miss one.
It's a big
the rest of them have been disgusting.
Spent and doesn't really amount to too much for either side.
And I think NRG needs to be careful not to overstay here because they can get soul if they're doing the right thing, which is why.
Yeah, I mean, drag is up in 10 seconds.
Now starting.
Just gonna get. They should just get this turret back, right?
And then after the
there you go, yeah.
Down, NRG's gonna not reset again and try and set up for this trade.
And it's a small thing, but you can see how Contracts is being so annoying, actually bodyguarding, blocking Mystic shots for the cannon because he has the Warmogs. He can just heal it right back up. They are first over by that dragon, and
I wouldn't even think about it like that. That is pretty heads up.
We'll see if they can do
wow,
it.
so this is what Dokla saved the CP for. This is a deep TP.
He is spotted now, so they have
so Aso won't have ult again.
Ole is getting low. He looks for the Zenith blade, can't connect.
Oh, not a bad ult from Ole.
As Dokla is here, but he is very split from the team.
Spotted him out. But I mean, just look at how low everyone is. Ole almost got murked.
Kicking and heal back up.
Patience is key for both these teams. Neither of them want to over-engage early.
Ole, just step back a second. Let the Warmogs take effect, G. Oh, and Contract's winning, got tactical. Oh, it doesn't even matter that he had cleanse, though. It just doesn't matter. Look at all that. Oh, it's disgusting. The poke from, funnily enough, the poke from NRG was just too much for Immortals. It felt like having Ezreal and Corki and stuff just didn't matter.
Like turret plates, everything.
FBI, tactical, Palafox,
really
disgusting.
We talk about when this NRG
poke
team
diff.
is at their best. It is through how they are able.
They're gonna be able to get
with
so
these
much
solo
here because they aced them.
right? And
you know, they
when
aced
they
them.
looked their best,
They're gonna get an inhib here. They're gonna get soul point. They might get 2 inhibs here. They're gonna get soul point. Or I'm sorry, soul.
Overall for the game.
So Ole's up, but Ole's the one person who can't stop anyone.
Really paying off.
At least they don't have Baron anymore. It might have been game if they saw Baron.
And the biggest issue we've heard
No. Okay, so they are getting 1 inhib. Palafox wasn't quite able to push fast enough.
Was having different ideas of how to play the game, but the way that manifested, don't steal. Okay. The way that manifested.
Why don't you want to steal?
I was hoping for the steal. That's like my favorite part about playing ADC. Is like the occasional like Caitlyn Q or Ezreal ults or Jinx ults or something that's able to grab a objective.
It's back, and when they go, it's go. Like as
but look how low they are just to start.
Contracts was also engaged.
You know what I mean? Like you can't even blame Castle. Castle's off doing his own thing, trying to stop Dokla from engaging from behind. But I mean, when the engage happened, it was half health compared to full health.
Look good. They've all been committing to the same thing.
What is Immortal supposed to do there?
They have been on different pages in some of the previous games.
To be fair, I don't think they can just leave either. I don't think they could just be like, well, they got this drag, this dragon, so whatever.
Watching this game, that's something that they've been talking about, and something that they've been working on is just, you know what? We're all going to commit to the call. We're all going to go for it. We're all going to be on the same page, win or lose.
And I think that's really key for a team like NRG that we're talking about. How many like
look at the aura from Contracts
they had, especially in this
just
past
sitting
game,
there.
bringing
big 4-0. That's adorable. I play way more Sejuani.
They should be able to get this really easily.
Oh, and the engage. Oh, Armeo's so low.
Just kind of poke him down and push him back.
I mean, Contracts is like full health after taking all that poke.
To answer him just now
just disgusting.
Up towards mid lane. This is that kind of difficult situation where Immortals are very likely going to have to choose.
And he's just going to heal it all back.
And fully commit to attacking it, try to burst someone down right off the bat, and hopefully that buys them
maybe not.
time.
He allowed the
Immortals, you're hoping that you can get towards.
He allowed the blue buff to hit him that one time.
He's
nicer than me. I would have been like, someone else can take this.
I think the next step for NRG here is waiting for this Baron to come back up. It's in 30 seconds. They've cleared bot. Dokla just needs to make sure he doesn't get
2 levels up on Castle
behind here, because with the setup that
Remember,
NRG has on the top
Castle
side
started
of the map,
2-0. Like really early on, it was like I was looking real strong 2-0.
So hard for Castle.
Since then, he has gone 0-3. That is so rough.
Items to 4. So even 2.
And honestly, Dokla's done nothing but get better.
You might need a full 3, which it gets kind of close to checkpoint.
Oh, just really well played by NRG. This has been a pretty convincing game.
The call from Immortals looks like it's
which is funny because Immortals looked like they were doing just fine early on.
Maybe take the Baron off of him. So they're sending the whole squad down here, but Dokla's playing it pretty safe, and he might have better chances than Immortals are hoping for. So we'll see.
He baits it.
He might actually be able to get out. Oh, Mask got hit by the ult. The ult got hit by so many ults. Oh, okay. He was able to get back. I saw the Ashe ult and I was like, and I was like, wait.
It's just the support Ashe.
So as you can see,
yeah, it was looking that nobody else was there. But even then, they made him back. They're able to put pressure up here. Like that's one of those things where, in a pro level game, that matters. But in solo queues, like that wouldn't have really. You're not all cohesive enough often. And maybe that's different at such a high level.
NRG being able to close this out fairly cleanly.
Dokla's just doing whatever he wants.
Hopefully.
Put the minion over there too.
See if they're going to be able to do it. Dokla escorting all of these minions in. Armeo has to come back.
That is disgusting.
And the wave is stacked
He's
up
keeping 2 people back.
Matt's stepping way too far forward, and
Matt's just dead.
And that
I mean, honestly, the Palafox ult was just unnecessary.
They're all starting to fall.
Armeo got melted. It was so quick.
He's low. He's gone.
Oh, they aced him again? No, it's Ezreal, so Tactical gets out. Got his cleanse. Look at this, Sejuani. Bounce.
Will finish off the Nexus here and take the lead in game 1 over Immortals.
Wow, look at it, fills the whole fountain.
In this one, 350
oh wow,
ACs.
Acel's looking so strong. We just have to get rid of that champion.
Screen deathless with the Callista Ash.
As a society, we have to just ban this Aurelion Soul much more.
Only had 4 deaths throughout, 17 kills stacked up.
All right, let's see game 2. That was honestly very convincing from NRG. All right, so we'll take a quick look at the bans.
So that's where their coordination
test
is going to be had, is whether or not they can execute this composition or not.
No bans on Callista or Ashe?
This is a slight tweak
Not
to
even
the
Sedge?
Corki that we're used to seeing. I do
Are you
think
really
that
worried about
Palafox
these
is
champions
going
here
to
in
be in
comparison?
the position of playmaker once
interesting.
again. But in terms of the picks that he had a ton of success with last year,
I don't know if I love the Immortals draft.
And sometimes
up
the
against
early games
this
can get a little
NRG
bit
draft, like
unique.
even with Lucian Nami, are you really gonna out-bully Halo Blaze, Callista, and Ashe?
Since Contracts understands the champion very well on his own.
I don't know. And
Yeah,
Ivern,
exactly. And these guys have played against each other quite a bit.
I'm biased on Ivern. I don't feel like Ivern's ever
updated after game number 1, but
as
very
good
as far as the head-to-head goes.
the other options
there has
available.
Been,
right, there were very few times where I'm like,
on the side
only
of
Ivern could have helped you win this
And
game.
As you said, the pressure I think
You know,
is kind of
I don't
on
know.
Armeo because
But
he's
again,
been receiving a
I
lot of
am just not a
criticism.
personal fan.
And there's
And I'm sure I could be
where there are
wrong.
less teams in the
If somebody
league,
could do
it
that,
is
I'd
even more
appreciate it.
competitive for
Like,
these
show me
spots,
some
right?
really
If
spicy
you're not
Ivern
performing,
things,
if your
and maybe
team isn't
I'll change
doing
my
well,
mind on that.
they're going to be considering roster
I just
changes.
don't feel
They're
like I
gonna
ever
be,
see
you know,
him.
worrying about
So
that.
hey,
So
I have
Armeo,
really high
the
hopes for
pressure just
Armeo
kinda
here.
keeps building for him.
Also, I think
Absolutely does. You can see on the right of your screen there 1,000 damage
the
per
quality's
minute.
so low.
Yeah,
There we go.
damage per minute
so-
in game
that was so
1
weird.
by Palafaker. His name changed just for the graphic once you
Yeah, Palafaker is the highest praise I feel like you could have given any mid laner. So I have such high expectations of Palafox now all the time. It's probably not fair.
Likely spice is going to be in that bot lane where we have double Halo Blades against the Lucian Nami.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, if someone really overextends or kind of disrespects the play, then maybe the junglers are going to be able to find an angle. But
So
bot lane
Dokla,
get
while
spicy
didn't
for sure.
necessarily win
Lucian
laning
Nami
phase,
not going to be able to
eventually
really
was
contest
just,
at level 1
I
whatsoever,
mean, doing
especially
Marlin
against a couple
Castle.
Halo Blades, you know,
They put
barrier.
Castle on a really
They are
passive pick
set
into
up
this
to really
Dokla
succeed
TF
in that 2v2.
top lane.
But you need a couple levels generally for the Lucian Nami, then things can kind of start.
I
to
didn't
turn
even
online.
think to
Once you
switch
get
lanes or
3,
anything either,
they start to
so
look to fight back a little bit more.
it looks like they
becomes more that kind
felt
of skill-based
comfortable in
matchup that
this
we
laning
all do
phase.
want to watch. But Mask thus far doing very well in the 1v1, you know, pushing Palafox back, looking to get Chip wherever he can. Mask did not have a very good game in game number 1, was caught out a number of times, it felt like, including on that final push. But you know, here is the stats for Palafox between last year's summer and this year's summer. Not the start he has wanted. This does not include last game where he did have a good game. That would be a bit of a boon to
He
the
did
stats,
do really good last season.
About, you know, some of the things that Palafox
I'd have to check
really
APA.
get towards that we saw from last
His
year.
APA also did really good last
It's strange because
split, or last summer split.
confidence is a hard thing to manifest when you're just watching a game like this, but it's the decisiveness factor that I feel like he's lacked, even in spring.
Yeah, I'm not. Even though it's gonna
he
sound
also just ends up making a lot of individual mistakes. So I remember his
probably
Ari, a lot
cocky.
of times in
I'm not
spring, he was
surprised that
just missing a lot
FBI
of
knew
skill
here,
shots,
just really pushing
never
in
being
this
on the same page in fights.
Lucian
But
Nami
when
bot lane.
Palafox goes in first, that's
Are they
a
about to
good
get
play.
punished as I say
Thought,
this?
though, as FBI was trying to get spicy.
Does throw out the trigger seed. They do have him slow down. The bubble gonna whiff. FBI does heal. Neither side.
Okay, so the answer is
flashing
no,
just
but
yet. They're kind of holding on to it. FBI does have the barrier. He's gonna have to use it, but the barrier came out a little bit late. Didn't actually absorb any of that damage, and FBI
get
is
punished.
gonna get sent back to base. It is the heal and the
So
barrier.
I should just
traded
not
out
open
for
my
the heal on the
mouth
side of Olay,
if,
but of course tactical and Olay very healthy.
Oh,
whereas
sorry,
has
FBI.
the base. We'll see if who.
I mean, like that. I didn't.
Wave, or how much of it is going to be lost.
It's crazy how similar this is to the jungle clears that happened in game 1. Both junglers full clear. Armeo goes bot first, gets multiple summoner spells, gets the first scuttle crab, and then also hangs around until his bot lane can fully push in the wave.
Armeo did kind of clear like a monster on Ivern, actually.
Fully pushing in this wave, in my opinion.
That was a
FBI
quick
clearly
clear.
Going back to base, and Contract is almost certainly going to be
I
trying
don't
to
think
get
it was
his
quite
top
as
scuttle
fast as
crab, but
Cyrus,
Armeo
but that was
still
deceptively fast. I didn't realize how quickly he had gotten that bot lane.
It is a little bit funny, right? Because they had mid-push. There was again
So staying out of vision there was actually
maybe gone
huge.
for double scuttle,
And
right? But
I wasn't giving him enough credit
decides
before.
not to take the risk is just going to go back to base.
Yeah, I guess I'm not
Grabs his tier 2
surprised about
boots, has
seeing
the
that top
lucidity
lane
boots,
either. But then
and we'll see, as they get the base here.
we'll see if Romeo comes top and just absolutely demolishes it as well.
So it does have a pretty nice buy compared to what FBI did get. And it is going to be that little bit of an advantage here as they do still have that cleanse available. Of course, not going to be too useful until
look at the farm.
he does hit level 6, but still that slight edge for the Immortal spot lane.
Yeah, now since he has Smite, I think he would have thought about taking Raptors, but they were very easily going to collapse on Armeo. So Armeo not being able to get many early Ivern advantages, even though, when I look at the bot lane,
it was really
as well,
good wave setup by Palafox. Like, obviously, I know the pros, like, I get it.
But
I was, like, really just kind of captivated by it, watching the way that he kept it out of turret range, letting them hit him while he set it up, and then let him hit turret as he cleared it. This is really, it was enjoyable to watch.
Instead, they're actually giving that over to Castle. So unless the Lucian is able to get a lot of gold up on top side, this is actually a pretty costly swap for them because that's about 10 plus CS that he actually misses out on. Does also mean the energy, like game 1, are going to be able to grab the dragon.
Are they saying they really want grubs maybe? They're giving energy the drag again and saying, hey, our game plan still is revolving around grubs.
Feels almost purely advantageous for energy.
Energy teamwork working great right now. Jopa already ready to catch that bot wave.
Like, I don't know for I don't know for sure, but that's what that looked like to me. They're saying like, yeah, we're gonna give up drag, we're gonna give up some plates to the
new LCS,
you know, the Callista and the Ashe and everything, because we are going to focus once again on the 6 grubs. We're gonna try and get the Rift Herald. You know, they believe in their game plan last time and it didn't quite get executed, but they think that they can keep it up.
That is gone, unwinnable. If they added, so that's already 28.56%. If they added another loss, that would be a huge amount of losing and only having those 4 games to have here. But if
that would be a huge amount of losing.
W, who knows what happens for the rest of it? 1 and 2 is really not that bad compared to 0 and 3.
It's the beginning of the roller coaster towards being world champions if you get a win today.
Also, they're going to have side select for 3 of their next 4 series. They're going to have the break, by the way, after Thursday, Friday. The next LCS game is going to be July 20th. Mark that on
I know, I'm so sad about that.
It's going to be a break. So even though it's just 2 weekends because this weekend's a little earlier, it's going to be a time for teams to reset.
I'm excited.
And really have a second shot at this summer split.
Exactly.
I'm excited to see
like
how
this
kind of schedule
split,
works
like a second
after
to the split,
though.
because there's so much scrim time for some of these teams.
Maybe I'll adjust like my
really
days and times
adjustments.
of
we'll have to see what they can get done.
streaming and stuff like that.
And FBI,
the LCS is going on.
Won't be able to really find much of
I'm
anything.
guessing if the LCS is done, I'm assuming there's not going to be like LPL or LCK or anything. Maybe the Challengers League, which would be fun. I think there's going to be a NA Challenger League after.
Does think the scuttle is in the area, so Junglers aware of where the other one is. Both of them have hit level 6, and Ivern going to be able to clear out this ward.
Or some kind of circuit or something.
It's been a much more kind of patient game. You know, no
reading about it and
fireworks
listening
have
about it
erupted down in the bot lane. Mid lane's kind of farm fest similarly to the first time. And Castle is kind of just gracefully losing in this 1v1, and that's kind of what's expected, you know, in this matchup.
I mean, despite that, Castle's even with farm, like playing really well.
You are feeling very, very good, and right now he's basically dead even. There are more minions for his opponent to farm, but you don't care about being down a couple CS in this matchup at all.
Especially not as Cassante, where you do care about
being that is kind of crazy. Really well played.
In this matchup.
I was talking about how, like, obviously he's not going to have a lot of pressure, and he's going to be, like, in the losing lane scenario.
They
played it
down against the
so far,
pretty much perfectly. As the Lucianami. Not all of that is from laning. It's from map movements here. So tactical.
They know Contracts is there.
He's not going to be the one to drive this game forward as of now. And Contracts
like maybe he was able to dodge those wards and whatnot, but I don't think so.
And just his presence there is preventing.
Oh, that poke from Calista is disgusting.
Yeah, he's honestly doing a really good job because it feels like he is just hovering and hovering and hovering. But then you look at the farm. He's actually up farm in the jungle matchup, right? And he kept that.
He is up farm. And again, I would like to point out, I'm not sold on Ivern in any situation ever.
You know, he's been at the right place at the right time. Ashe Arrow,
that would be disgusting.
As who he just lets that one fly from
another mid
very far
and
away. Another mid gank. Yeah,
that would have probably been really rough for Mass with the Azir having ult up.
But throws it out before he bases, so you figure
because you're going to be stunned for long enough that shuffle is definitely going to hit into you. And you have Valkyrie, but you're just so deep into the lane at that point.
Absolutely. 2 minutes from there. I do need to see if Sejuani ends up being really useless in this game, though. And that's because of what we talked about.
Is Sejuani ever really useless in any game?
Only melee.
You just have that.
And it's
you have the CC.
Because
like, yeah, you have the permafrost and the E,
like
you know, the dash, but
draft
just don't get ult occasionally.
Pick Corki into the Ashes.
Something the enemy team has to
then,
respect all the time.
since NRG was so willing to pivot away and counter the other things that Immortals was locking in, they looked at it at the end of the day and said, ah, crap, we picked Sejuani with four range champions. So Contracts has to just be much less potent in team fights and in ganks because no one else is going to help him proc his Brittle.
Yeah, I will say at the very least, if you are going to play a melee engage champ, at least you're not Vi or something that you have to throw your body in, right? True. You can just throw out the ults and kind of fish with them, a little bit lower risk. But it's kind of the meta. I mean, it's how many AD carries can you fit in a team?
Ooh, that's some good damage from Tactical.
The Fate's call as he was getting chunked a little bit low there. I mean, if you want to count TF as an AD carry, there's 3 on one side, 2 on the other. Even if you don't, we have 4 in this game.
That is rough.
It's over. Yeah.
The 5. AD carry diff.
5, yeah.
Well, I said 4 if you don't count the TF.
Oh, okay. I'm counting the TF.
Yeah, I'm happy seeing lots of ADCs because it's something I can watch and learn from as somebody who's probably going to be playing
ultimate there to preserve
mainly that role.
Because they want to have full health for him
also,
to move up and actually fight this Drake.
I don't know, it's not always the most fun games to watch.
Bubble connects.
Dokla has TF ult if a fight does end up starting.
I'm so excited for Fearless next year.
Still 22 seconds, though, from the start of the fight.
That was such a good ult, though, because it went through terrain for 90% of it.
Sure. But not really anymore. And now just going to summon up Daisy here.
Without it hit Armeo, that could have been very rough.
Retake some of
with Contracts and Palafox just waiting on it. I think that was an awesome,
around, that kind of
attempt.
But Contracts going to say, you know what, screw it. I'm going to go topside where I have pressure. I'm going to play towards those grubs. If you want the dragon, you can take it. Doesn't want to give up 6 grubs again this
Which is funny.
This is really interesting, actually.
Super shocked Immortals is not pushing for 6 grubs based on the last play they made.
Fight to stop for Dokla because he has no
right?
TP,
like,
so
why
would
would you
move pretty far down the river consistently? And I think Castle could have really started.
Why would you play so aggressively last time if you're just so easily willing to give this up?
Especially if it's not even going to be a trade. Immortals is opting for plate gold shared between the Lucian Nami instead of this Drake, so it's actually just grubs for a plate, which I think NRG is going to be really happy with.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's an interesting choice to not actually go for the dragon whatsoever. Maybe Immortals doesn't actually want to play towards dragon, doesn't want to play towards the soul conditions. They don't even want more dragons to spawn or something.
Yeah, they might not have had vision because I'm thinking about the way Contracts snuck through. Like he crossed through mid.
Crossed through mid. They definitely knew.
They definitely saw
it was an option, but they decided not to go for it. Not a big deal. A lot of teams are going to prioritize gold early over an individual dragon, but we'll see.
That is an interesting idea.
It's going to be the Ardent Sensor Rush with double AD carry. I think makes
saying like, hey, we're not going to focus drags. We don't want it to spawn sooner than it has
on the other side, it's another cheap support
like
item.
It's not our win con.
A lot of junglers these days.
So
last game as well from Contracts
we don't want to give the enemy the possibility of stacking them quickly. We want to put off this ability of soul
and it's dirt cheap
as long
as
as possible.
Quick one-item spike.
And instead of taking a drag, they think it was, they might think it was quicker to leave it up.
Dodge there. Those Ashe ganks not quite working out yet, but that one was actually the closest yet since it was a close range.
And they got the flash, so that one's definitely worthwhile as they do force out the flash there from Mass. He is, of course, running.
You have to smite the
treads, but then they are that close on top.
The scuttle to be able to grab it, right? As Armeo.
Keep you safe in that position.
Yeah, again, I'm just not sold on the Ivern. Good bubble.
The bubble does land, and the culling's going to come through, chunking them down.
He did end up using cleanse.
Ult to actually interrupt the culling there onto Tactical, but it's just a trade of ultis, and again, not too much of a big deal on either side.
I think it's going to be really hard to kill people this game after seeing some of these early fights with cleanse already being brought by Tactical. And I think Ole's probably going to be bringing Mikhails. We got shields as well coming in from Ivern and huge numbers of ranged champions. Like, teams don't necessarily have to commit and then also have a good way of dodging things, but maybe we'll see some kills around
Contracts.
Contracts is now spotted. He is right in on top of him. Daisy trying to do her best to tank this one up. Armeo likely going to have to flash over the wall. Does have to do so. The TP coming in now, but the
DF's coming in
as well, and they're going to be waiting for him.
DF ult better than TP. Got there quicker.
He just W's away to safety, but that does mean
NRG ends up grabbing the second Drake. So they really have that Draking stack as an ability.
Immortals, they committed both.
Yeah, that's a big loss for them.
Yeah, I think Immortals is just not
lose TP, lose
not
TP,
keeping up their macro plays in comparison to NRG.
Incremental advantages is all NRG needs to keep stacking in this game, and I think we did see an example of how hard it is to actually fight in this game, because if either team were to send someone all the way in, like if Castle, as the only melee champion on his team, decided to all in there, he probably dies. And a nice dodge there by Tactical, having no cleanse. Pops Ole in the.
That was actually a really cute emote. The little lamb with the thumbs up. That was adorable.
1%. We did it.
Yeah, exactly. He's on the board. Ash Arrow does connect.
So if Immortals does not
building up quite a
rotate
bit of CDR,
up to the scuttle,
Fields has the CDR
I'm going to be
so is pretty comfortable just
assuming that their first play was actually a mistake.
Scaling up, Corki going to be
where they did where they really tried to fight for these grubs.
Obviously went for the Swifty Boots rush
with the lane swap and everything.
Important in these
like if NRG gets it, they pretty much
is about can you stay on top of this guy.
I mean, at this point, they're just dominating the game.
Avoid his potential all-ins when he's looking to get aggressive. Palafox down on the
only up
side,
like 0.2, but it doesn't feel close.
All the way off. His team
it feels like NRG is just
looking for that Herald. Of course, they split the grubs.
Outplaying Immortals in every situation.
It's a trade though for this tower on bot side, and Matt's going to be able to get solo gold on it. So
okay, so Matt did get a lot of gold right there.
I don't love these trades. We'll have to wait to see what happens with the Herald though, because the bonus gold on the first turret was increased post MSI to try and curb lane swapping. It really accelerates the solo laner when they're able to get that. So even though Palafox had a really solid game one, now 33 CS plus that solo turret gold means he's 1,200 gold behind the Corki. That's madness.
Yeah, it's a lot of gold. You know, isolated solo gold on first tower is crazy amount of gold for sure. And like you talked about last game, Herald is just potential gold. It is not guaranteed gold, right? Last game we actually saw that actually work out where NRG were lying in wait and stopped the Herald. They actually killed it off top lane before it even got a charge because Castle TP'd in and had to use it to run away to top lane in kind of a funny play. I guess that's fair. But yeah, you're giving up that guaranteed gold over to Mask.
Right, I like that idea of like
maybe just kind of confident in their scaling.
If your win con
like,
really
okay
is
trading gold, it's okay if we're
get like our ADCs as fast as possible.
I think it is worth it.
Focusing purely gold,
just because Lucian Nami needs to.
You know what I mean? That could be a win con. Even if you're giving up all these objectives for it.
One of the big things when you see these items completed, you just.
What was that? What is this Dragon Slayer?
Culling, and you can push any squishy
that's disgusting.
But without that mid lane turret for their own defense, it's much harder for them to posture aggressively. You can flank in behind them. As of now, though, not a setup.
That was super disgusting. And the Coling!
There's that Lucian
contract stepped in, but...
Yeah, who are you going to get chunked down? Does
huge chunk. Oh, and then a return chunk.
And a lot of damage coming back from FBI. Played this lethality build last game as well. The poke cannot be
Hui's has some good
this
games.
Sort of a build from the Kalista. You can chunk people very, very hard. And that CC can be really dangerous because the follow-up coming through from that lethality Kalista is a lot.
Absolutely is. Where are you on the scaling of ADTF? Because I've heard vastly different opinions.
So there's no objectives up or anything like that.
I've seen late game
really, it's just kind of like a farming game.
Team fights.
Yeah. And funnily enough, NRG has been able to close this gold gap.
I think you'd imagine the Cassante will have more
that was disgusting. Wave clear.
It's easier, I think, for the Cassante to get done what he wants to get done. As you say, you know, if TF can find a really good angle, get like an isolated 1v1 against an AD carry who doesn't have cleanse, you hit the gold card, you can kind of win that. That can be really big, but oftentimes as ADTF, late game, you just become someone who's relegated to just a gold card.
I really thought they were going to be able to grab something on Mask, and then Contract just showed himself too early.
So we'll see what he can get done.
Okay. The engage by FBI, he doesn't get wrenched.
Nicely
and Hui's almost dead too.
Tactical, but
honestly, that could have gone a lot worse.
Hui actually almost
that was really well played by Tactical.
As that would have been unfortunate, but they do get the end of the summoners out at the end of the day.
Yeah, very important to get the cleanse off of him.
Yeah, Dogla just fully castle out of the lane.
When Tactical tries to play aggressively on mid lane, he's going to stick around.
Ooh, you know, TF top looking
pumping
strong.
Full of heals. That's the second game in a row they're here where Tactical, while holding mid lane, is.
I was thinking about playing some games after this.
So it's definitely a spot that NRG is attacking with how aggressive Tactical I think has been playing.
Getting some spicy options.
They have not been hesitant at all in either game to throw out their engage tools. You know, NRG are just firing them out, and whether it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You know, it's pretty low commitment on these sorts of plays. It is going to mean no summoners for Tactical if they wanted to try to commit to this next dragon, because that would be the third dragon.
Oh, so they have rapid fire cannon and Kraken. They're just going to do damage.
It's Kentek again,
so Douglas just going to do damage.
Disappointed to see that.
Yeah.
The scaling of NRG looks disgusting compared to the scaling of Immortals.
They're going to drop the Herald towards mid, try to play for Prio there, and then utilize that to get down for this third dragon.
Okay, maybe they just soft contest this mid wave because Palafox is just free pushing on bottom, not even here yet.
Oh, shit. Okay, Shelly got it off.
Yes.
They didn't quite get the mid, but they got the charge. They were able to kind of super pressure Immortals. They're going to try and rush this drag. I actually think they're going to get it. I don't think Immortals can really walk up. Yeah. Look at the Ivern, bro. The Ivern doesn't do anything.
But it's just to push them back and actually claim the dragon here.
I'm just not seeing. I'm not seeing the Ivern pick working out.
Actually going to bail out. TP's up towards
top. Oh, Palafox.
Now the TF's ult has been popped because they know Mask can't come. He's going to actually TP in. Flashes the bubble.
Too bad that they got the gold card on Castle of all people. Anyone else probably would have been killed.
Mask is going to be
Mask does trade for a turret though.
Top lane tower. So it is at the end of the day kind of just the dragon for the turret trade, but that's NRG again on Soul Point.
Very interesting.
Yeah, not just that, but it's only 20 minutes.
Dokla
Soul Point's gonna be up in 4.
Definitely going to regret that alt flash at the end. He got the Cassante.
At least it wasn't a blue card.
I don't know. I think NRG's very, even though the gold's on Immortals' side.
I don't think
again, I don't feel like Immortals is winning this game.
Mask is now the carry.
Yeah.
1000% the carry. 2 solo turrets taken for him. 233 CS. If we, in 5 minutes, are wondering, like, wow, how did Corki get so huge? It's because they've actually conceded so many of these other minor objectives.
Oh, look at this turret.
Winions! Soul fight.
Exactly, that's the thing. That's the trade-off, right? Yeah, you got the Corki with all these
Look at that mid-turret.
There's huge pressure to make that.
Anyone can walk up and just melt that thing.
Yeah. Then all of a sudden, these concessions here and there to get enriched don't pay off whatsoever. So that is going to be the big.
Yeah, it really is kind of all in Mask.
See if they can actually make it work out. Partially,
I don't know. I don't feel like I've seen Corki be that strong where I felt like they could carry a game.
They have got to make.
They just don't have any CC.
I think that's the bigger
you know what I mean? They don't
have losing that Drake anyway. So
overly insane because they don't have the package anymore. It's not like their team fighting is just unrealistic.
Corki here. Looks like FBI will be able to complete this
He's into
kill.
some squishy, so I guess you could argue his poke.
Deathless game.
You know what I mean?
If
his Qs and stuff, if his poke starts absolutely melting, then that could be a way to kind of turn the game into your favor. If every time they walk up, they're just shoved to half health.
Games where first blood takes forever, the Nexus doesn't take that long.
Yeah, it's like a 25-minute first blood and a 28-minute win.
Exactly, because it just blows up as soon as the first person dies.
And this is actually the latest first blood of the season so far.
Good ult by Tactical.
Connected on. And
so like, see, again, that was decent poke.
It's like I'm watching LCK.
Can we get Elder before first blood? Has that ever happened?
Let's find out.
I assume everything's happened.
I don't know.
Pros are just are built different. You know what I mean?
That one out along with you as both teams.
Mask.
Pretty patiently. Does throw
again, there wasn't a lot of vision there. There's a chance that Mask could have been caught out.
Ready to start this one off. If he can lead with the gold card, Palafox could be in trouble. Contracts is going to wrap around.
I thought Palafox was looking for a sweep.
Is in a lot of trouble as Contracts is behind him, but he got pushed away by Armeo. So Armeo and
because Palafox went for the sweep with Dokla Contracts. That
safe.
Especially if they kill Mask there, I think they just grab Baron. They're just so much stronger than Immortals right here.
I think
especially with Mask dead.
There, they would have had a failed gank, and then Mask really gets going. You can see the reason he has the 200 gold bounty is because of his CS. It's so high in comparison to the
260 is
CS
insane.
That's just a display of how fed he is. 1.6 thousand gold up on Palafox's.
All right, some damage on Tactical. We went in. Oh, but Castle. Wait, that was such a great. See, I'm telling you, Sejuani death.
Armeo now looking, he connects the route onto the team.
Oh, okay, but they were able to grab Dokla.
Trade of kills, energy on the run. Can Immortals get more?
I think Immortals should not even be greedy for more. They should be happy with what they've received.
But I don't think they're really going to be able to do it. But look at that big one coming through from Mask. That was about half the
Mask is doing some work, but that was okay. So again, this is why I disagree. Oh, wait, Ash Arrow hit, but it hit Castle. I guess they won't grab the turret yet, but yeah.
Would have had an option to try and ult people back, but I think the team.
Anyone besides Castle being hit there would have been huge. Anyway, that's what I'm saying with Sejuani just being a good pick.
Interesting play there,
right? Like you always have that ult capability if someone just steps a little bit too close or something like that.
And then TF falls on the back end. And Immortals is the one to push afterwards.
Look at this, yeah.
That play isn't completely worth it.
Yeah. I mean, if you have the Ash Arrow, I get the play, because your fake call, knock up, and then the Ash Arrow, but he used the Ash Arrow on top lane, so he's kind of just like,
I don't know, they just melt him. I don't know.
And you can see they can actually finish the play at the end, but Dokla had to teleport so deep in, he gets caught by
I feel like
Ivern. And at this point, Mask is untouched.
I feel like it might have been better if Dokla didn't even TP in.
Full health in the back of the fight.
He really didn't.
It's a fine death.
He didn't even have the possibility of doing anything there. He's just too squishy. But yeah, Immortals turned it into something.
Now that it was just kind of an even trade on the first blood, do you still feel like it's going to be a fast game? Because the first one, I'm with you in a lot of those games where it's like the first kill in a late first blood is like a 5-for-0 into a Baron or something.
Yeah.
But this is just a 1-for-1.
I agree. I still think it's going to be a fast-ish game because of the Soul Point being in 6 seconds.
So it's gonna be
Soul Point is coming up like right now. But again, I think that's some of the just macro.
On the current game state, it's
I don't call them
misplays
misplays because maybe they're thinking something that I don't know. But macro decisions of Immortals.
But it is not that.
Wow, Mask is on it though.
The dragon is still being brutally killed here in front of our eyes.
You know, oh wait, okay, so so many Tactical's cleanse after you know, immediately got hit by something else. Tactical's like dead.
That is just the summoners.
All right, so Immortals gets it.
Tidal wave was enough from Olay to keep him safe. Mask though in some trouble. Remember, he has no cleanse.
Oh,
and in comes the TF. He's gonna try to flash away, but he flashes in the middle of everyone.
Really, I see the idea from Mask. You know, flashing the Valkyrie over, but
something here. We'll see if they can get the.
I don't know. Dokla sweet on it. He knew what he needed to do as soon as he got there. He wasn't like, oh, am I gonna need to use my flash? Nah, he was like, I need this. The team needs this. And they kind of did. They do kind of grab the most powerful person on that team. Great poke from Tactical.
The Fate's call there. No buffer again from Castle as he doesn't use the Pathmaker as the gold card comes in. But that's enough. NRG a little bit gun shy here. They're going to pull back. Not committing to it. I thought they might have wanted to go a little bit more aggressive because really
it was a 5v4, but yeah, Tactical really melted Huhi.
There's not a lot of damage.
And I do think you have to respect the
what are you going to do after
the tactical damage and the Castle tanking.
So I felt like maybe NRG could have stayed around a little bit longer and tried to get a turn.
I think their Baron damage is probably just too low. With
because they've because their jungle isn't a real jungler.
It's a tough one because
their Ivern doesn't really do a lot of damage, yeah?
This early in the game, I think they're still taking
kind of an enchanter for the jungle, not what I would go with.
Pull back.
Yeah, and they are still at soul point. No, I got it. I think they can kill it pretty quick with ADTF and Azir, but they didn't want to risk it. And
I'm being harsh, but I don't know. I feel like Immortals would be in such a better position if this was like any other jungle.
Really amount to too
much. If it was a scaling AP jungle, that would be great. If it was an engaged jungle, you know, they really have the possibility of pushing NRG into really rough positions with how they're playing.
And are going to be able to reclaim at least a little bit of that, as it just feels like, again, a game that we're moving towards these team fights eventually, but it just has to be one of the teams.
You really have to get good at farming under turrets this year, because you're going to be placing up extra turrets all the time.
That would be
like, that's really a skill that you do need to have.
I think they do want to fight for it, but I do wonder if the poke from Lushinami calling and now.
All right, so Mask is on his third item currently, and you know, Palafox isn't far behind. Dokla already has 3 items.
Ways of actually engaging on the other team. I really liked the way that
okay, so Mask isn't actually that far ahead
of any of the.
He is up like 30 farm.
Potential Ash Era, but mostly just gold cards to not give Dokla good targets to burst down. It's making them surprisingly squishy, even though they just or surprisingly slippery, even though they just have the 1 cleanse and no Mikhail's yet completed.
Yeah, and Dokla hasn't really been able to create too much of an advantage through side lane. Yeah, he has a gold lead, but that's kind of just what TF does. You print money with your passive, so you're going to create a lead in that way, but he hasn't really been threatening towers too much. He hasn't really been pushing that forward. Corki's down also 16, which is when the poke becomes very difficult.
Tactical just walking, just
trying to play confidently.
He's not afraid of anything.
He has the rapid fire, so
I can't even imagine doing that. I would be shaking as I walked into the Sejuani.
On the Warmogs, and by the time anything happens, he's right back to full.
His fingers are just too quick for me.
So he's got to try.
He's going to turn. He lands the arrow. Everything coming through.
Wow. If
Dokla
would have TP'd a little bit sooner, that really could have punished Tactical.
As he just tanks the Sejuani ult, the Ash arrow hits with the cleanse.
That's insane. They got so many ults out of that.
Right after it, Tactical is.
Well, they could argue like, hey, we're going to try and rush Baron now because you have to come into us without a Sejuani ult or a TF ult or an Ash ult.
Now is the time.
And Palafox was bot as well.
So Immortals just starts it up. Let's go.
It is getting down pretty low. They want to force the TP. Palafox is basing
first.
He's still not
Mask missed his really big rocket.
Back it off. As this is getting really
Immortals, I feel like you have to just rush it.
Now, NRG might just commit to it. It's going to be a flip potentially. It's down to 3K. Eyes on the jungle. It's Kasante.
Really well done. Really well done by Castle. He knew what you needed to do.
We'll see how many of them can actually get out. Huhi almost dies. Has to flash out as he gets thrown in with the fake ult.
Oh, the bubble by Olay.
Does disengage on 2. And now the question is.
Yeah, I think it was really risky by Immortals.
He's going to save himself with a Baron recall. Thumbs up.
But I think Castle played perfectly. He understood, like, hey, Contracts needs to get into this pit. I need to do everything I can to pull him off. And he did. I mean, he used big Sante body.
Seconds, Immortals already trying to run back out. Castle 20 seconds, but has the teleport. So Immortals just
do you really think that they're gonna
straight back on the map, and it's gonna be the same play over and over
lanes
again.
Too much, or they're just gonna go straight to? I assume they're going straight to drag.
Bought because he's
right. Like Chemtech's soul's not huge, but any soul's strong. And you're pretty far behind with Barons. Like, I don't know the exact stat difference you get with the Baron buff, but I'm sorry, gold. In comparison to stats that you get with Baron.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, he knows this fight is so important. He has to buy the QSS. He has to be able to play aggressive on the Lucian, or they just won't have enough damage.
So Contracts don't care. Contracts is going in. It is going to be a 5v5.
There's the TP.
And you know, in this situation, Immortals isn't necessarily any weaker than NRG. Great. Just great job by Dobby. Bro, Ole's just been killing it. Really well played. And,
NRG could potentially run towards
ice in the veins of our Mayo.
But at the same token, Immortals
one of my least favorite parts about playing jungle is, like, you know, trying to time that smite correctly.
Won't be spotted, but he will be there to defend as Contracts has gone back as well, and Immortals still on the push.
They want to push here, and NRG might try and counter with the fight. Castle's doing so much work this game, though. One of the most effective 0-1-1 Cassantes I've ever seen, holding off the TF. And
it's also, I mean, it's 30 minutes in. Like, they're tanky.
Barely survived. Tactical.
Oh, great flash by Dokla. I saw the idea by Castle. I really did.
He wanted to be able to pull him back into the rest of his team.
Because if you pick off Dokla there,
wouldn't be able to get the kill.
Some really obnoxious Ivern stuff going on here too, with the Baron cannon minion that you can't see, who's just hitting the turret. They're gonna hold him there. And
this is the one situation you can make Ivern look okay.
Castle,
you don't gotta rub it in.
Another gold card does land. This time it's going to be buffered with the Pathmaker, but they have the shields. Constantly throwing the shields up. But
oh, wait, you got hit! No, you can't get hit there!
Now it's Immortals on the run here. As incredibly low there.
Amazing ult by Huhi.
Can they actually find an angle?
Oh, Tactical's low now too. Great ult though.
Trying to look to turn it around.
Okay, they're gonna get out, I think, but Huhi's arrows might not hit often, but when they hit, it matters.
And it's just this game back and forth.
Oh, there's a big wave top, but nobody has TP on Immortal side, so it doesn't really matter. Alphox is like already there.
As well as the Nami are just keeping Immortals' health bars.
Ole has had some really well done,
which makes you think that the fight will be over, and you look up again, and they're at 80% health. So
the ult was really good. I mean, he's healing like an absolute G. His bubbles have been on point. Like, he's really been able to peel for Tactical in a way that I don't think Nami would really get the respect for.
They throw out more poke. And the Corki is
I do believe Nami's a good champ, though.
Really substantial, and it
definitely
makes
one of the more fun enchantresses to play bot side.
Then everybody else is incredibly squishy, so they just can't. And then Immortals gets the objectives and slowly, incrementally finds their way back in the game.
And we had some really close margins there because Contracts flashed out with, I want to say, 5% health. Then we had
look at that shield and the heal and everything. It is actually going to be really annoying to kill whoever this Nami's
then we have,
guarding.
Immortals getting incredibly low and almost
that was probably a really satisfying bomb, and I'm really sad they switched away from it, like,
later and later
right before
the game, where one-sided fight could mean the end of everything.
Yeah.
It's so dangerous when you make a mistake in these later stages, but
NRG's up in gold, but Immortals this really does feel kind of like a comeback.
A lot of credit
like they've scaled and hit certain items that Tactical is really able to super poke, and Mask is really being able to utilize his gold lead to
and find those big plays that his team is
quite a bit off of NRG
if they're going to win.
Completely agree.
I'm pretty sure he's building Bloodthirster right now, and so when he completes that,
he has cleanse.
Yeah, right now he has Bloodthirster right now.
This is gonna make him so confident. And he also has Ivern shields that are just refreshing on him. But, like, he can still die pretty fast. That's the thing he's going to have to
heads up by Castle. Heads up by Castle. He dodged it, but then still was able to use the Unstoppable.
Getting hit in the face by a Callistic Q and a couple of Zero shots.
Exactly. We saw him
Tactical just gets poked really bad, but then the shield will pop up, and it's like, oh, it wasn't even necessary.
Death Gap's completed a little bit later on.
It was almost like a waste for you to have done so much damage, and now he's just full health again.
All it takes. Pierce Ren comes through from FBI, then all of a sudden you're dead.
Is there any anti-heal?
Can't cleanse that.
There is. Looks like on contract.
It's going to be Immortals moving over towards
but just on contracts. Come on, Huhi. You need
objective up.
Gotta tell the pro players what to do.
About a minute, as NRG would have
that is funny.
crack. at a potential soul.
But I will say the amount of shields and whatnot, healing, everything done on Immortals is pretty much 2 enchanters and then 3 or 2 ADCs and a tank. Like that's.
I want to see these teams battle.
It's not a lot of damage or a lot of tanking per se, but
like 7 times this
it's
game.
really gonna help you know, put Mask and Tactical in positions that
towards their poke.
You know, with them getting ahead, they might be able to do something.
Energy actually just can't engage. There are too many cleanses and CC breaks on Immortals.
The downside is it really does rely all on Mask and Tactical. In a fight, if NRG is able to grab either of them, like half of Immortals' comp is just gone.
Seeing that really across the board for a lot.
And if you get both of them, if you're able to get like a good Contracts full and then a Palafox scoop or something like that, then you have Cassante, Ivern, and Nami. Like, there's actually nothing you can do into a comp.
Contracts really seems to be the only one they can ever hit. And they keep getting the poke down, but not really anything more than that. It's a bit of an aggressive Valkyrie forward there from Mask, but felt confident with his 2 supports behind him that he would be able to look for that sort of a play. Tactical again, just playing through mid, looking to get Cryo there. And it is Dokla. Yeah, Dokla over on the Dragon here, spotted out. But
to be fair, on Ivern's side, that wouldn't be any different if it's a 20. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So I can't. Oh, great engage by Contracts, but super quick fingers by Tactical. But they got Contracts! They got Contracts! And now they're running away. Yeah, Dokla has to back off. There's no way that Dokla can stay there. So now it's still a point for both teams.
After this, do they have time to take this and go for the Baron? As that
I mean, yeah, they do.
I think they can, at the very least, get the Drake, and I think this is the correct call. Even if they could get the Baron with the Dragon being down, giving up the Soul is a no-go with how slow these fights are. So now both teams
so now I
don't
point, know if I would do Baron.
And I think if Immortals doesn't,
like, we have not been able to Immortals have not been able to reset from the last fight. NRG has clearly been able to reset from the last fight. Yeah, Contracts isn't up for another 10 seconds or something, but you really have to melt this or you're forcing a flip.
So they are taking quite a bit of damage on it, but it looks like NRG aren't even feeling
Energy's respecting it. They're just letting them have it. Wow, that's really surprising.
They're going to try to take it tier 2. But Immortals slowly but surely dragging themselves back into this game. The Ash Arrow doesn't hit anything. More items being completed. BT now done.
You know, even now, again,
completed as well.
Immortals is down in gold. Energy's up 2k gold. But for some reason, it feels like Immortals has really been able to come back. And it's similar to how it was earlier when Immortals was up in gold, but Energy was really who felt like in the driver's seat. Wow, Contracts just went right in and Tactical's dead. Like, that's half the fight. Now, yeah, Mask has to leave, right? Because that's all his damage. If he dies, the game's over. And there's nothing you can do. Yeah, just a great job by Contracts. He found the line, and that's all you need.
But with no Baron buff, they need to wait for a few more minions. Mask can clear a lot.
Yeah, like I don't necessarily think Energy's gonna end it here.
That was a miracle catch by Contracts and Palafox.
Yeah, they're gonna
you just put yourself in a rough spot.
The game. There's not a lot left in the tank here.
Oh wait, did they lose game here? It is 37 minutes in, I guess.
Taking down these minions as fast as humanly possible.
Hold on, are they going to show us items again? I'm kind of curious what FBI and Dokla's items are.
Here they go.
Yeah, here they go. Dokla's just going to step forward here. Does land the gold card.
Oh, wow, yeah, they just melt Mask. It's game over now.
And just like that.
Yeah, if they would have maybe picked off someone else, but... Okay, NRG. 2-0 to Immortals. Really well done. I'll admit, I'm a little sad for Immortals. They stopped Shopify in the first series. And game 2 of Cloud9 looked really close. Honestly, game 2 here, Immortals, it doesn't look like, even though Energy swept them, it looked like relatively
in that moment, it looked like Immortals had total
fair
control
games, right? Like, these are two teams that I felt like it could have gone Immortals' way. And watching these games, I wouldn't be surprised. But that is, so Immortals is 0-6. I think they're just out of like playoff ability, right?
Going into the break.
It's a crazy end to the game.
Well, it was a really good series. It was a lot of fun to watch. All right, so now we have Team Liquid.
It's gonna be 0 without checking every single match.